Hi, I'm Rachel Hyman-Sisco, and I'm running as an independent for president in the year 2028. Let's pretend, and I want you all to think about that you wanted the Nobel Peace Prize. You wanted that more than anything. There's 6 prizes: physics, chemistry, physiology, medicine, peace, and economics. If you were going for the Peace Prize, and the Peace Prize is the best and most significant work for relations with other countries, what would you need to do that is world peace could be accomplished globally by stopping wars. Quit supplying weapons to countries at war and not political leaders. We are in war because our political leaders aren't getting along. It has nothing to do with the civilians at all. So if they're gonna, that's their job, not ours. Mass destruction is targeting civilians and not political leaders. They have the technology for lasers to pinpoint certain locations without destroying schools, hospitals, places of worship, homes, places of business, destroying our planet with poisonous gases, fires, and contaminating our water. We develop weapons in our country and we test it out until nothing is left. If you want a couple of examples just off the top of my head, look at what they did with Coldwater Creek, and that was during the Manhattan Project, and Lone Elk Park. They completely destroyed this park. Nothing was left except for apparently one elk, and I think they brought several other in and repopulated the park, and you can drive through and see this. The point is, it takes a miracle to bring the stuff back, and you don't know if that will ever happen. We have to understand that war in any country affects us globally. That is crucial. If someone wanted the Peace Prize, they would have to put down their weapons. They would understand that any damage done is damage that needs to be fixed. They would rebuild the bombed houses, businesses, historical places, hospitals, and school. You would provide and clean up the water that was contaminated. You would provide free healthcare, modes of transportation, get those buses back up, get whatever they need. If we destroyed a car, they get their car back. That is our responsibility as a country to fix what we have done if we want the Nobel Peace Prize for our president who wants it so bad. You would provide healthy foods, things that aren't covered and sold in stores that are covered in herbicides and pesticides. And if you don't wash that off because your kid gets a hold of it and doesn't understand all that, starts eating that. Strawberries are the worst because even if you wash it up, it's already soaked in, and that is unfortunate. You would provide free education and daycare so parents can afford to work, because the amount you pay in daycare is more than what you would bring home to your table. So you have to rely on assistance. You don't have a choice. And with all the single mothers out there, what do you think is happening? And single parents, you would respect your community and celebrate differences. You wouldn't cheat in an election by gerrymandering, electoral votes, misinformation, and making it difficult to put it on Tuesday when people are at work. So they either need to call off, go early, try to come late. And also in this state that I'm in right now, they don't have mail-in ballots. They do not send out the pamphlet that you get in other states that explains everything. So in this state, we are relying on posters and Facebook, and people don't read the newspaper anymore. And the only newspaper that actually tells the truth are in these depressed areas because they want the truth heard. While in areas like mine, it's glossed over. And you have to go find that paper. So actual information is hard in this state. It is so difficult. No one wants to stay up till 12 o'clock to watch the comedy shows that explain it better than anybody else. No one wants to watch that. They want to watch the 6 o'clock news that may or may not cover the day because it's owned by people and they have to push that agenda. You will let people choose their medical choices about their body. They know their body better than anybody else, what they can and can't handle. Gun safety. We've lost so many children. And you would lower the flag whenever there was a school shooting or anyone who didn't deserve to die. And under this administration, or the last few administrations, families have been separated, adults from children, and the children are in deplorable situations. more children than his fire code in a school, no less. We have concentration camps. People are being yanked from their children, whether they're trying to do the right thing or they're at a graduation or they're using disabled kids as hostages to make parents come out. And this isn't about being or undocumented or not having your papers. People that are documented are being taken away. People who've lived here for 30 years have been taken away. People who have been accepted under the Clinton administration, under their rule, what happened, how they got here. They did it legally when Clinton was president, but now they have the fear of being taken away. They've gone from undocumented, profiling people that look like they might be undocumented, to now we're going to people that have been here forever. And I'm just going to say it. They're going after basically Hispanics, brown hair, brown eyes, okay? Dark skin. But the point is, so now we've gone from basically Mexicans and people who've come in from other countries to black people who have been here their entire lives, to now we're getting Asians, and it's going to be transgenders and Jewish people. Everything is anti-Semitic. Muslims are going to go. The only thing that's going to stay standing is supposed Christians who are being brainwashed that our president is solid. He doesn't represent you. He doesn't represent Christianity or any other religion. He is a guy who is evading the law because the president cannot be arrested. That is why this election was so important, because he had 34 felony counts. He was being taken to court by women who had been raped, assaulted. He has cheated on his wife while she was pregnant. President Clinton got a blowjob under a desk and he got impeached. What is going on? What is going on? And our environmental protections that were in place by Nixon, who wasn't our best president, but he cared about our environment, and that got taken away. FEMA's been taken away. Unless people do what he says, and in my state, I can only hope that our governor, who is catering to the president, is only doing that to quiet him, because he knows the damage he can do. So don't be so hard on the red states, because they, going along with it, is protecting their people. That's what I would like to think. If Kamala or Gavin Newsom run for president, I'm not competing with them. And I hope that you guys think independently. And I hope that you guys think for yourselves and do your research and don't just watch the news. If someone's got a speech, watch the whole thing on YouTube, because you're not getting it on the 6 o'clock news. You're just not. The news is for weather. That's it. It's the only thing you can rely on. While you're doom scrolling, stop and look at some of these messages, because there's a lot of people out there that are really trying to speak out for their community and what they're going through. And farmers, you have to take a break from all your hard work, and you need to know what's going on, because it's affecting you very strongly. And groceries aren't going down, and they're not going to. That's part of life. You cannot rely on a president to handle and tell people how much they can sell their milk for. That is not the president's job. That's your job. Supply and demand. If you don't want to buy eggs for $5, don't buy them. Buy local. Find another place that does have it cheaper. That's how we do it with gas. You just drive less. You don't go to the place with that's the most expensive. That's how you do it. You can protest by doing that. That is your job. So if you quit buying houses for $1 million, the prices for housing will come down. So you have to think. The president cannot control everything that is happening in this country, but he can stop the wars. He can refuse to send in National Guard. He can change the word of Department of Defense. He has changed that to Department of War. That is not peaceful. So asking for the Nobel Peace Prize is a cruel joke if anyone thinks that he deserves it. I'm not scared of him. I haven't done anything wrong in my life that he can use against me. I cannot be blackmailed, and I cannot be bought. Rachel Hyman-Sisco signing off. Think independently. That is your job. Think independently.